So we've been talking a lot about your journey as into culture and studying culture, Jamaican culture. When we initially spoke about doing this interview, you made a suggestion about one of your poems. I'm going to draw you out on that. I want to hear one or two of your poems right now.
So I want to, I don't know them out of the top of my head, so I have to get
Yes,
the
no
details.
problem. Take your time.
Right. And I'm good with sharing. Most people don't know.
Exclusive for Storytelling in the Tropics with Allison Harrison, Dr. Stanley Niaah sharing her poetry. So this is the poetry slam section of Storytelling in the Tropics.
You know, Allison, you're gonna get me to do something that I've not done publicly before. This is very interesting. That the first poem that came up is one about my grandmother,
Let's go.
and then I'll share another one after that. I call myself a closet poem, poet. I call myself a closet poet.
Well, I'm here to release you, ma'am.
So this one is called Mama Blackhall, PhD, and I wrote this from 1996
Okay.
on the passing of my grandmother. And this came just out of the spirit. Mama Blackhall, PhD. Matriarch from the motherland, quarter Irish husband, walking around for years with a dissertation she never thought to write. Yes, Mama Blackhall is PhD, if you please, not because she never went to UC. She went to Africa in her memory, to England to live the black and white script, bore 7 children, their children, and transformed the dissertation from words to action, transformed its very essence. Remedies, what you say? Mama Blackhall had them in memory. Remedy for throat ache, backache, heartache, remedy and concoction can done, defiant as they come to anything prescribed from westernized tongue. Mama Blackhall would say, anything too black no good, especially when talking about boyfriends for her children. But that is what her mouth would say. Me know, say you did know. No, said the black skin told you all you needed to know. Cause where the remedy them come from? Not ancestral memory, not Africa, the land that give you the melanin to protect you from the sunburn. Not Africa, that drum up the beat so you can dance. In spite of the colonizer in your words, your big brown eyes had the fire behind them. Your hands had the love they never thought to hold back. In your pot, the food you cook to sustain us. It is just you, yourself, and your drum beat. Yes, your remedies will go on and on. Teach us some more about yourself. That is what this generation have to carry on, the fire more intense, have a brighter, hotter, the love have a lovelier. So it can warm the generation then before them come. Listen, stop. You might just be able to see the dissertation in my eyes.
From 1996.
1996, me never did a thing about a PhD yet.
So what
I wasn't even thinking about a PhD yet.
if you can remember the place you were at.
No, you know what is most important though? That poem they sound good enough. A long time in a seat.
It is a good poem.
Oh my God! Do you know my best friend, one of my best friends living in Washington State? I sent her this because I typed it up, and she emailed it back to me in 2021.
It's a good poem.
I'm telling you, I read it a while ago and I said, "Wow,
That don't bad.
don't bad at all.
It don't bad.
Don't bad at all." So let me switch gears now.
Yes, let's get into one of the.
This is a very short one, perhaps one of the shortest of my poems.
Okay,
And then I'll read one more after this.
please.
It was just the fedora, walking as it does on someone else's head. Someone not you. Someone reminding me that head was just not you.
And that's it.
That's
the
it.
poem. Interesting.
That's it.
Hold on. What year was this written?
Maybe about 3 or so years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago. But let me read the poem that the one I last wrote a
Yes.
few weeks ago.
Okay.
It's called Peeking Past the Past.
Peeking past the past.
Peeking past the past.
Okay.
Some people wear the past as if it were a trophy, even when it has shunned them and stripped them of fancy food and Sunday best, already tattered from the weight of their use. Some people hold on to the past even when it has flung them ashore from the belly of oceans, tunneling through time forgotten, discarded on garbage dumps like entrails seeking flies. Some people squeeze the past as if their last breath depended on its inflicted suffering, a suffering ignited as a reflex, and just like clockwork, lives anew when summoned. Some people wear the past out.
Look at that. I want to ask you a question, but I don't know if I should ask you. And you smoke weed?
No, I don't. You know, I always go in my class and tell my students, I say, you can imagine if I was smoking weed and drinking alcohol?
You don't drink alcohol?
I
either?
do not consume anything much of anything.
Not even a little wine, a little red wine?
Occasionally with friends.
Okay.
Not by myself, not occasionally with friends.
So this is a natural.
This is a natural thing. This is and I'm telling you, if you live in the spirit, if you live with an understanding of spirit, you pay attention to inspiration.
So when you said spirit, so does that mean that church is not a part? You were not raised in church?
Oh, I
or
was raised in a church. My
Okay.
parents took us to church. Yeah.
anything? Okay.
Methodist church. So if I go to Montego Bay now, my mother is a member of that church. She sings on the choir in that church. My mother is very much still involved in that church. My father passed away about 12 years ago. And he used to go to church as well. When I got to 18 and I was no longer living in my parents' house, I was not compelled to go to church anymore as an institution.
Okay.
But I understand very, very clearly and vividly the spirit world. I live in that world. I live in a world where I get inspiration, I get messages, I get visions from that world. And I'm very clear about what that means in my life. I am told things, I listen, and I act on them when I need to.
So when you say you hear, you're hearing it as clearly as you and I are having a conversation
Yes,
now?
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's not a different voice. Like, the voice is not Allison talking to me.
Right.
It's, you know that spirit find anything it need to find to tell you what it need to tell you?
I believe that.
Okay. And I witness that in my life every day.
I believe that.
So I dream. I'm a dreamer. Yeah. That's Jamaica, do I know? We come from Africa.
Yeah, I know. Each of us has a
It's
level
whether
of
you're paying attention to
right,
it or not.
Right.
If you shut it off, and if you remember now, and it's important to understand that the church, the established church as it functions now in our society, is one that tells you to shut off some of those things too. What is this spirit you're talking about? Unless it's the Holy Spirit. Yes. But there is only one mind. And if you understand that spirit is that one mind is going to find a way to tell you what it needs to tell you when it needs to tell you,